Hi everyone, I'm Huub Hildenbrand. Thanks for tuning into my channel, Huub Hildenbrand Guitar Academia. Today we have sort of lesson 4 of a course on 3-note structures, and we are discussing all these 19 possibilities of 3-note combinations. And in this course we will play them in a melodic way. We use I show you different patterns, sequences you can use for mainly the traditional major, minor, diminished, augmented triads. And these are really cool if you later on, we do this in a later lesson, if you combine them by going through progressions with these patterns. But now I will first show you all these patterns, which I find very beautiful myself, of course. Otherwise I wouldn't teach it here. Okay, let's get right into the endless ocean of music. So you will benefit most from this lesson if you go down in the description on the link. There is a PDF you can download, and what I do in this lesson, I will just play what's written on these pages, and also on these pages sometimes you find fingerings and some notes. I will not discuss everything, but I will demonstrate the different phrases, different patterns, wide interval patterns, and so that you have the notation, the PDF in front of you, and you have the played examples on video, and I think that's really cool and sufficient for you to be really clear about these patterns. And as I said before, also in another lesson, the real beauty of these patterns, or of 3-note structures in general, comes when you have sort of voice leading or progressions to different chords, to different structures. So when there is kind of movement and there are these colors, because if you just stick to 3 notes, it soon can be quite boring in a way. So keep that in mind when you practice these patterns. They are really a preparation for really cool music which you're able to play then, if you know these patterns and if you have the technique. Because today it's really also these are also like very studies where you really have to have a good technique, especially in the right hand. I think you will find out when you play these patterns. Okay, I start. All these patterns, by the way, all these patterns are in E minor. We just pick a chord, one traditional triad. But as I said, the beauty will come later on when you combine different structures, when you have progressions and changes of colors, so to speak. Now it's very static and we stick to 3 notes. It can be kind of boring. So also I have to mention, even if you have this limited number of notes, just 3 notes, you should really try for yourself to make music with it, of course. This is actually it's also a great thing to reduce yourself, to limit yourself to just 3 notes and try to make maximum music with it. So later on, when you have more notes, you are already like really prepared and really creative, so to speak. Because creativity has to grow if you just have very few materials to play with. All right, so I go through this file, this PDF file, these pages. I have them in front of me, and I just show you the different exercises. Actually, we already had in an advanced lesson, we had the first exercise, but I show you again, and I show you first. thing is going backwards. Backwards means first the highest pattern, and then that's it. And remember, or be conscious about that we are always have one note per string, and we change, so to speak, with close position diets and open position or drop 2 diets. When I play this is actually a drop 2, kind of an interval out of a drop 2 voicing. And I repeat this. So I have a wider leap in my 6th and 5th string and 4th and 3rd and 2nd and 1st. Whereas when I go to the next, I have a close position. I have G, B, so 3rd, 5th. And then I repeat this. Then I go in the open position. Then I have the close position again. And so on. So you alternate between the spacings. Okay, number 2, also some variations. The basic form, so to speak, is this one. Actually, this is a purely a drop 2 thing here. But then just adding a close note, you can say, just for melodic purposes or for rhythmical purposes, to have this not in an odd meter form. And then you have these variations. One variation is not to add this one note, but instead repeat something in the lower register. So it sounds like this. So we have eight notes, or like 8/16. So we can repeat this pattern always. Or we go to the next. Then instead of going this drop 2 form here, we just play an octave of this note on the G string. So we have, sorry. We can have a nice of these last 2 variations. We can alternate them. So we have an interesting pattern. It's also written there. We do it like this. Okay, then we have another kind of a diet form. I mean, every segment of this sequence, every pattern, are just consisting of 2 notes. We have this octave here, so 3 Bs, you can say. And then we have also a drop 2 form. Okay, tuning here. Okay, so we have the possibility to play it horizontal on strings 1, 3, and 5. Back, of course. And we can play the whole thing 1 string lower on 2, 4, and 6. No, that's not possible. Okay, so and back. And also we can have a nice combinations of top note on the first and top note on the second string with this pattern. It goes like this. Okay, you see? Then we have a variation of exercise 1. We have these diets. So for example, we have this form. And we do like 3-note cascades with that. So we play always 3 notes up and then we start from the next higher note. So we have 1, 2, 3. Close position. Then the next is also a very, very beautiful thing. We have this. We use a diet, so we have just 2 notes, and then in the last on the 1 we play this interval harmonically with a note we missed. That sounds very complex. So we start, for example, with an open diet, with an open position. So it's like E, B, E, B, and we play it starting on 2 and, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And there on this, when we reach the top note, we also play here 1/10 in this case. Is it a tenth? Yes. We play the third, the missing note, because we don't have the third here. We have just the root and the fifth. Root fifth, root fifth, root fifth with third. So it sounds like this. There it's not a tenth, it's an 11th. It's in 11th, but it's kind of similar shapes you have there when you stick to these triads, of course. So. Okay, so you have. Then another job 2 form, you can say, is exercise 4, where you have you play this. So this is all job 2. You always skip one note, and also the range is exactly 2 octaves. So the starting note on the high E string is the same as the lowest note on the low E string. So you have always this kind of range. So you play. And the fingerings can be quite can vary. So, for example, I can play this this thing like that, but I can also play like this, or so it's there are a lot of possibilities. Of course, this also changes your right hand. If you change something in the left hand, you have to skip or to move differently. So some are maybe easier for the right hand. That's also a consideration when finding out maybe the easiest or the best ways or the best fingerings to be able later to play them more quickly. But actually, I found out that once you have this technique, it doesn't matter too much whether it's a bit more leaping or less leaping. So it's more the choice comes more from the left hand, where it's from which note or structure it's coming from and where it's going to. So that's the main. I think that's the main consideration with these different fingerings, not the right hand. Okay, then you have you have a variation for a 2/4 measure. You need this if you play, for example, over a tune. You have something like so this thing here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So if you want to play a tune where the chords progress just in a 4/4 bar, like every 2/4 notes, so half a bar, half a measure, then you need this pattern. And you can adopt all these patterns to the chord of the moment, and then the whole thing will bloom. Okay, there's another variation for 6/8 or 3/4. It's just so you have spontaneous improvisation. where I use like different patterns. So this also, maybe it's good to have this for you to listen, to get an idea about how this will sound when you change the chords and stick to the patterns and adopt the patterns to each chord. All right, that's it for this lesson. There's a lot of stuff to practice actually if you want to play them really musical and nice sounding and legato and these patterns. This is a lot of practice. So I would suggest pick one which you really like and then really go into it and try to change the chords. I mean the triads, minor, major, diminished, augmented, and yes. So that's it. I hope you like this lesson. Please subscribe to my channel, and there's also a possibility to donate to support my channel. Just follow the link down below in the description. There you find a button on my website. Okay, so thanks for watching. My name is Huub Hildenbrand.